All right. Welcome to episode 2 of GTT Live, Dust Covers and Forward Assists. I'm Rich, I'm fat, and I have a beard. And with me, as always, is my good friend and favorite gummy bear, OmniFox.
I am the gummy bear. We've got a special guest today.
He's not a guest.
Oh, well, he just showed up one day.
He's hanging out. Jeremy from We
Okay.
Like Shooting, so IRC is going to go batshit over this. But yeah, Jeremy's hanging out with us tonight, and Omni has a special announcement. Take it away.
Oh, well, everybody said that I needed to loosen up last show. Apparently, the drunker I got, the more people enjoyed me. So what I did tonight is I have a nice bottle of Respado tequila that I'm going to be opening up, popping the top, pouring out 1, 2, 3. All right. So first thing is, fuck you, people. Second is, fuck you again. And third is, okay. There
If
goes
you
the top
puke, I'm
button.
gonna fucking laugh.
Ah! All right.
Holy shit. Okay, so if you want to interact with us, if you look in the lower left-hand corner of the live stream screen on YouTube, there's a thing that says be part of the conversation. That's a Q&A app. So,
There's Twitter. There's
Yeah,
IRC.
yes.
There's Facebook. There's... I don't know if you have Facebook open.
I have Facebook open, but I'm not really paying attention. Anyway, so either open up the Q&A app or use hashtag GTT Live on Twitter. I'm paying attention to both of those, and then Omni's going to pay attention to, well, I don't know, but he's supposed to be paying attention to IRC right now. We already have a comment. James Johnson, yes, tequila shots.
Yes, we have started with tequila shots, and if you fucking take lime and salt, you're a fucking pansy.
Hey, James, if you want to join, send me a message on Steam or Facebook, and I'll give you the link, and you can jump in with us.
No, he can't. God
Okay,
damn it,
never
you
mind.
Keep adding. I don't care. You keep adding fuckers, and I don't know. Well, I know who James is at least. So.
Yeah, you know James.
I know.
Yes.
But
So, James, if you want to join, then jump in.
And for those of you who are bitching about the fact that it's Patron, A, it was free. B, fuck you again.
Dude,
C,
your face is so fucking red already. Holy crap.
I just did 3 fucking shots of Patron. So
Oh, this is going to be
Fuck
an
my dick.
interesting show.
I assumed it was high blood pressure.
yes, it is. It's the cocaine and the cocaine accessories. Is that my favorite ornery jackass from We Like Shooting? I'm assuming that's directed to you, Jeremy.
I don't know. Am I the ornery jackass?
I thought you all
Who's
were.
asking? Where are you? On
That was
IRC?
Browse. No, that was in
Andrew
Q&A.
Rouse.
Really? I don't
I got the
see
Q&A
that. Oh, there
app, so I can see. Yeah, I'm from We Like Shooting, and I'm an ornery motherfucker. So it might be me.
And
I'm
I
waiting
believe,
for a reply.
I believe TXGI is a little upset in the fact that I always call him an alcoholic when I just, chain chug 3 shots. Well, today's topic is about ARs and shit you put on them and shit that you really should get with them.
Yeah.
I believe firmly in the forward assist, but not so much in the dust cover, but because I don't run my bolt soaking wet like a fucking prostitute.
Here's the thing. Jeremy might be able to back me up on this.
Okay.
I can count on one hand the number of times I ever needed a forward assist, but every single time I was fucking glad I had it.
basically, that's my feelings on the subject.
Well,
It's one. What? Go ahead.
no, go ahead. I do. That's the one big thing I don't like about my Tavor is there are times when you're doing a press check, come back, and you can't get the bolt back until you bring it back even more. So.
And that's just, I mean, that's just the shitty part of the platform. If you ride the bolt forward, if you ride the bolt forward, then something's gonna, sometimes it won't go all the way into battery. And theoretically, Zap says Texas GI is an alcoholic.
Yes,
theoretically, the you could have a kaboom, but the fact of the matter is those little ridges are put in. I said theoretically, dude. Fuck you, Nick. Theoretically, you could have a kaboom. Chances are it's not going to happen, but it's a theoretical possibility. But regardless, those notches are put in the bolt carrier for a reason, and I just think it's silly that people go out and spend real money on AR platform rifles that don't have a dust cover or a forward assist. And the dust cover, as long as, like you said, as long as you're not running your gun with the bolt soaking wet like a New Orleans hooker,
Hey,
then you're okay. But if
Fatty's talking.
if you do, pot, kettle, meat black.
No. James just joined, so he needs to shut the fuck up.
I heard him. The long and the short of it is dust covers and forward assists are fucking necessary. God damn it.
Yeah. Was it Zaptol 47? Can we have an example of when you use the forward assist? I was in the military, and sometimes when you're out in the field, you can't help but get a little bit of dirt somewhere in the chamber, and the grittiness of it all can keep the bolt from going full into battery. Not that there's anything in the chamber obstructing the round from going in, but it does keep the friction. Doesn't allow the bolt carrier group to go forward enough to go into full battery. So a couple little pops on the forward assist, boom, you're chambered up. You're not in any danger of overpressuring it because nothing was in the chamber stopping it. It's just friction from the bolt, especially after you've been shooting it for a long time, and you're out in the, and we would use blanks, and blanks are dirty as hell. And you needed to hit that forward assist a couple times to get it into full battery. So there are times when it's needed.
Now, the vast majority of the civilian population doesn't run blanks and
No.
a blank adapter on their ARs, but still.
That was one example of when I've used it. I've used it when I was out shooting with my buddies, and we just ended up shooting way more than I thought we were going to shoot that day. I already hadn't cleaned my AR from the time before, and it needed clean bad, and there was enough grit in the upper to keep the bolt carrier from sliding home, and right in it went.
Let me check Twitter. What's up, James?
We've got James, the other cockmuncher of a mod, on the stream now.
Hey, what's
Literally Hitler.
I am literally Hitler.
Well, we all are.
Yeah. If you need a fall guy for any pranks to play on a subreddit, I'm usually the first one who volunteers.
What are you drinking?
This is just Sprite, and I think this is called Kentucky Banquet. It's the worst bourbon I've ever had.
You have it in Sprite.
Say what?
You have it in Sprite.
Yeah, I normally drink bourbon straight. I can't drink Kentucky Banquet straight. This stuff is nasty. It's like gasoline.
I used to drink
Sprite.
I used to drink Kentucky Tavern in college. It was $8.63.
Oh yeah, Kentucky Tavern. That's what it's called.
Yeah. It's fucking gross. It's 100 proof, and it costs like $9 for a fifth.
Yeah, like
it's fucking gross.
So, for those of you who don't live in Oklahoma, you can't get real beer here if you go to the grocery store or gas station.
3-2 beer.
They still
real
make
beer.
3-2 beer?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
thanks
no,
to our esteemed Able Commission, yes.
Yeah. So I didn't have any real beer. I don't think I even have 3-2 beer, so I just did this.
There's always tequila.
I have some
Tequila's always
tequila,
an
but I haven't had dinner yet, and I'm not doing tequila shots on an empty stomach.
Okay, so if we're gonna go about another common
Empty
theme
stomach?
that we will have, huh?
I was going to say, empty stomach's a perfect time to do tequila shots because you don't have anything to throw up.
Exactly. I also want to cover the one other topic that Chin and I will cover fairly often, which is food, because we are, fat. Today I found this new little Mexican place. We have a lot of agriculture in my valley, so we have a lot of Mexican places. And this is probably a burrito that was literally the size of a small infant. And I, like a fucking retard, I can eat all that. And so I sat there and I ate the entire fucking burrito. That was larger than my carry gun. I used my gun to scale. Yes. That was a very bad decision.
Yes, it sounds like it was.
Okay, we've got... I'm assuming this is our buddy HIV Bus. 3-2 beer means James is gay.
No, see, here in Oklahoma, and I'm not going to comment on whether James is gay or not. The haircut says it all, but...
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're going to reason why I'm gay, and you went for 3-2 beer, you don't have much imagination.
Yeah, the shirt, it's just screaming.
Here in Oklahoma, we have this thing called the Able Commission, and they are a right bunch of cocksuckers, a lot of them. But the long and the short of it is in Oklahoma, you can't buy full point beer, 6-point beer or whatever at convenience stores or places like Walmart. Basically, any place that's refrigerated. If you want cold beer, you have to buy 3.2 beer. If you can only buy full power beer at liquor stores, and it can't be refrigerated. So you can't buy like here you can't buy wine in Walmart. You can't buy there's a lot of stuff you can't get here, and you have to go to a special store for it, a liquor store. And that law dates way back to when Oklahoma was still just barely getting out of being an Indian territory and everything else, and there was a lot of issues surrounding the native inhabitants of the state and their love for the alcohol. And so yeah, 3.2 beer is a fact of life here in Oklahoma, unless you go to a liquor store.
And then you got to put it in the freezer and wait for it to chill out and or chill off, and yeah.
See, you guys are not real alcoholics. The real alcoholics know how to rapidly chill a beer, which is get a cooler, get ice, get water, get salt. Salted water, iced water will get below freezing and will cool your beer quicker than shit. So that's a OmniFox pro tip.
It'll straight freeze the beer. That's how you make homemade ice cream. I mean, if you want your beer to be extra cold, pour some salt in that son of a bitch.
Like, I know how to do that. I'm also just really lazy.
See, that's why y'all can make fun of Ohio as much as you want, but...
Oh, wait. Oh, how I hate Ohio State. I just had to throw that in there.
I don't give a shit about football. So, fucking hate away. I don't give a fuck.
Coors Light, we're classy on this show. Well, I did open up with tequila shot. At least my bottle of tequila is fucking $75 a bottle. So...
I'm sorry. I don't have to suck dick for money for my kind of alcohol.
I actually have one of these things called a job that pays well. So
What
that
is a
works too.
job? I've heard they're nice. I want one.
A what?
A
A
job?
job?
I've heard they're nice.
They're what you won't have when you have your PhD.
Yeah, that's what I'm told.
It's
I had one of those really good jobs, and then I quit it to open my own business. So I'm a little on the broke side at this point.
that works. But yeah, you know, the only thing that you really are qualified after you get your PhD for is teaching what you're
Oh,
taking.
don't forget writing grant proposals and
Yes.
really long presentations. I'm really good at those too.
And being the professor's postdoc bitch.
Yeah, pretty much.
Or you'll end up being a landscaper with a PhD. They'll call you Dr. Shrubbery.
No, seriously, like, I swear to God, I'm so sick of computers at this point. I'm just gonna take my fucking PhD and work at a gun store or something. So that's not too far off.
There's no money in that. There's no money in that.
Oh, we do have a correction. It's not HIV bus. It's HIV bus.
HIV bus, yeah.
The HIV. He gives us the HIV. So let's back onto our topic of ARs.
Yes.
Our thread of the week was, Dick Butt is a common theme every week. Apparently, we are rapidly losing our audience because of something or other. Anyway, the voted thread of the week was an AR thread regarding home defense rounds for a shotgun or an AR, which is better, due to overpenetration and actual threat stopping ability. There was one guy on there who was very dead set on the fact that birdshot can't go through a single wall, because a wall is technically 2 sheets of drywall, gypsum board. So let's go ahead and discuss the merits of birdshot as a home defense round.
It's fucking terrible. Don't use birdshot for anything other than birds and clay pigeons. Like, do people still argue about this? Like, I thought we'd all moved on. Seriously.
Listen, in the right circumstances, birdshot, depending on the shot size, can be a valid home defense load. Because at home defense ranges, when you're talking about 200 or 300 pellets traveling at 1,300 plus feet per second, it's gonna fucking put hole. It's gonna put at home defense. At home defense ranges, it's gonna put holes in you.
There's no to deglove your skin.
Just why would you ever choose it on purpose? That's my question.
I'm not saying you would choose it on purpose, but for lack of, I don't know, a fucking good rock to throw or something.
Well, so I'm saying, if you're someone like my dad and all you have is your pheasant gun and you live in Illinois and they don't let you whatever. I forget what the rules for home defense there are. If all you have is birdshot, then like I can kind of see it, but I don't know why you wouldn't just stop at Walmart and get buckshot.
Well, I mean, you have a legal there's a legal argument to be made for using birdshot, because then you could say, look, this is just
shoot the wound.
No, well, no, because you can say, look, I wasn't trying. I mean, come on, at 10 feet, it's not even out of the wad yet. It's gonna put a hole in somebody.
Not really, because it will. The pellets stop losing their inertia very, very rapidly as soon as they start hitting the skin. It starts to. It's physics, people. Did you not take high school physics? Wait, some of you didn't finish high school, so.
Josh wants to know if I've gone full retard.
They take physics in high school?
I did.
Oh, I didn't. Honestly, I'd go.
Until I am your guys' level.
Good luck. You'll die.
So, like, people spin their wheels enough on the internet, and, like, one of my pet peeves, even though I'm probably about as guilty of it as anyone, is people who read some fact on the internet and then just start circle jerking it everywhere. This bird, I'm pretty sure there's probably ballistics gel data out there, but Jeremy, you said shot isn't even out of the wad yet. It'll put a hole in somebody. Why, someone should just get some gel and shoot it from 10 feet with a trap load or something. Has it been like 10 feet and tested? Like, do the pellets not leave the wad? I'm not saying they haven't. I haven't even looked.
We have this great thing that was invented back in the 70s by the government. It's called DARPANET. And you have this wide range thing that you can type and find out anything you ever needed to know. No, DARPANET.
Like, Rich, this is something you could do for your show. Just make up some ballistics gel, calibrate it right, because no one ever does.
No,
and then,
you don't make up ballistics gel.
Shoot it 10 feet, and then this whole thing will be done, and we can stop internet pissing at each other.
Or order the big 5-pound gummy bears. That's what we do.
Why don't I just have you come down here? You're the big 200-pound gummy bear, and then hold on, my dog's being a dick. I gotta let him outside.
Honestly, though, I mean, double-aught buckshot works.
Double-aught buckshot.
Double-aught buckshot is one of your better bets. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna pick buckshot over. I mean, I got 500 rounds of buckshot sitting down here. That's what I would pick. Another good one is an underrated one is something like 4-buck.
I fully recommend number 4-buck. That's 22 caliber bullets that are traveling with enough mass to actually stop something. And
look, if you shoot somebody in the face at home defense ranges, it's gonna fucking hurt. It's gonna at least, at the very least, it's gonna make them think twice about continuing whatever it is they're doing. I'm not saying it's I'm not saying it's an optimal solution. Okay, but
it's better than your swinging cod.
Yeah, basically.
It's got mass.
It's basically it's called reverse granular impact theory. Do you know what granular impact theory is?
I haven't actually heard of that.
Granular impact theory is like dropping a ball bearing into a bowl of ball bearings. So you drop an object into like a bowl of ball bearings, and when it hits inertia and that impact through all of the ball bearings. So the smaller the granule, the quicker it stops because you have more being spread out over more grains. So shooting shot at something is reverse granular impact theory. You're shooting the wad of BBs at a target. It's why wax slugs work so well for knocking hinges off doors.
I'm going to have to Google that because that sounds really interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
You know what's better? It's called an AR-15.
I don't know.
Hey, look! There's a dust cover on that rifle.
Hey!
Yeah.
And a forward assist.
Forward assist. See, it's our topic of our show. But something like right here. These are homegrown 77 grain SMKs. The military now uses them under Mark 262 Mod 1 with the Canalure as the SPR for the SPR gun, and then also for a lot of anti-personnel work because they're not technically a hollow point, but they kind of explode at about 10 inches once they're in ballistics gel or any other medium.
Oh, Joshua Boyd's referencing brassfetcher.com. Brassfetcher Ballistics Testing is a great website. They shoot a lot of things into ballistic gel, and they have slow motion video of it all. The 50 BMG is my favorite because it just blows the whole fucking block apart. So if you want, actually, yeah, and when I teach CCW classes, I actually show some brass fetcher ballistics videos because I'm like, if you want to look for a good defense load, and you want to see how well they work, penetration, foot-pounds of energy on impact, blah 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 blah. I always put that up there. What is that?
There was the comment of an AR-15 is a pile of shit, so we'll go with that.
AR-15 is not a pile of shit.
Oh, that's Zap being a faggot.
It's not ideal for most circumstances, or for every circumstance.
James, get control of your dog.
A pretty
I can't. I'm
all around.
I should bring it inside.
This is why I beat my dog when it starts barking. That way she doesn't bark.
That's why I just leave the back door open so she can go out when she wants.
Now my dog's actually sleeping on the couch right now. I left her at the kennel while I was in Africa, and she barked so much when I was gone she lost her voice. It's kind of sad.
So who is this jack me off? Is it Hivbus or what?
No, it's not.
Oh, I wonder who it is.
Somebody else. I'm not going to dox Hivbus, so.
So where are you going? AR-15, home defense. Back on track.
Light, easy to move, easily configurable, very wide range of different guns or different bullets. You can run 55 grain tap, and while a 55 grain tap generally penetrates only about 6 inches, it's an AR-15. You can go click, 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 click before you can even run the bolt on a, rack a shotgun. That's the other thing. If you're going to run a shotgun for home defense, don't use a pump. Use a semi-auto. You're not going to remember to
some people
jack off your gun.
Some people can't afford a semi-auto. No, the merits that I see on an AR-15 over a 12 gauge is if you can't handle the recoil of a 12 gauge, if you can't handle the recoil of a 20 gauge, AR-15 is a very good way to go, especially if you're going to especially if you use like something like a frangible round, which might not get as good a penetration, but it's still going to cause trauma in the body. I mean, really, what you got to look at.
Frangibles are a fucking gimmick.
Frangibles are a gimmick, but if you're worried about walls and shit like that, they do. The Glazer ammo? Do they still make that for the 223?
Frangible still penetrates wallboard, though. I just saw.
Did somebody do it? Another
Box of Truth. There's a big long write-up on Box of Truth about frangibles, and Box of Truth has this little jig he made up to simulate X amount of walls, and so it's got slots in it for wallboard 2 inches apart, and he loaded it up with 12, and frangible penetrated like 9. Frangible's a fucking gimmick, and if you buy frangible ammo thinking that it's going to save somebody's life in the next room, you're spending your money dumb.
No, frangible ammo is honestly what you run Steel Challenge, and you're running a rifle range that's doing sub 25 meters.
If you're doing a lot of steel from close ranges, frangible's great. If you're wanting to keep from killing your kids in the next room, not so much.
Frangible is just really like if you're running Steel Challenge, like it's just so expensive. You'll save money with a 22 conversion kit in your AR. Like in our local Steel Challenge matches, I can't think of. They probably wouldn't even let you try using Frangible in a centerfire AR. They'll do 22 rifle. But so, like, even for the Steel Challenge use case, I don't think that's really valid because I just can't think of any matches that would let you do it.
Well, no, but I mean, it was originally intended for use by people who shoot a lot of steel to prevent ricochets and backsplashing and stuff, and it works great for that. But there's other options out there that are considerably cheaper, and my point is frangible does not make a valid or good home defense or self-defense round for your gun. Now, just like anything else, it's better than nothing. But chances are, if you can afford to buy a box of Frangible, you can afford to buy 2 boxes of non-Frangible.
Have
Right.
you seen that? Have you seen that DRT ammo?
Hey, hold on, Omni. What are you showing there? You got to
Polymer
talk
tip
so it
varmint
shows up on
rounds.
the big camera.
I know. I'm just holding it up while I wait. I'm polite sometimes. Anyways, any polymer tipped AR round, it's not going to penetrate, the full 10 inches that an ideal one-shot man stopper is going to do. But with that polymer tip, it's going to disintegrate very rapidly once it hits drywall or any other object. But again, coming back to the fact that you're running an AR-15 with 30 of these, penetration is not nearly as big of an issue with the first shot because you can put 3 rounds on target, man-sized torso, very quickly. So,
I'm not saying an AR-15 isn't a viable option. I'm saying there's lots of viable options. It's what my favorite weapon is? The one I have closest to me.
And that's why, like, I don't personally, I have an AR, I don't personally use it for home defense just because I can secure a pistol closer to the bed far more easily than I can an AR, and I can have a pistol on my person way easier than an AR. And I don't have a huge house, so it's not realistic for me to say that no matter where I am in the house, I can run to wherever the long gun is, just because there's so little distance to cover at any time between where I am and the entrances where someone might be getting in. And like plus, because I don't shoot 3-gun, I shoot USPSA, so I have so much more trigger time on my pistols in the first place than I do on my AR. Like, I'm honestly more comfortable handling it and shooting it in close proximity. I mean, that's basically my take on an AR as a home defense gun. It's like, they're cool if you can be sure to get to them in time, but, you have to consider access, I guess.
I call this my panic room.
Yeah, you and your fancy
22s
big
on the
1% house with your panic room.
No,
That's your privilege.
It's just a corner of my basement.
now here's
Eddie Martinez wants to. It says in the Q&A, what about RIP ammo?
Fuck RIP ammo.
man.
Yeah, fuck RIP ammo. Fuck it forever.
Now here's speaking of, I for next week's show I have a different ammo that
More tequila?
Div Bus saw that was quite hilarious. It was some Bolo round. Back to what James was talking about in securing a pistol and using a pistol for a home defense round. That brings up the caliber wars. What's better, the 9mm or the 45? Guess what? In an actual self-defense situation, they're both shit. They're a pistol round out of a short barrel. They're shit.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as a good. It's enough, but there's no such thing as a good pistol round for a one-shot stop.
One of the shooting schools in Tulsa, one of the instructors is fond of saying, he holds up a handgun bullet and he said, these are itty-bitty guns that shoot itty-bitty bullets, and they don't work, and you need a lot of them to work.
Our joke was, what the purpose of a handgun in combat is? To fight your way back to the rifle you should have never left behind in the first place.
Fighting your way to your truck, getting yourself out of the situation.
Yeah, that's very valid. Zap says, I like how Rich thinks Frangible is crap, but says Birdshot is fine. Fucker, I never said it was fine. I said it was valid, and it was better than nothing.
I mean, better than nothing and valid aren't really the same thing. Although this is about to become like the stupidest Reddit semantics discussion.
I know. Let's not do that. Let's just not.
So yeah, you're looking at the difference here to here. You know, you've got your
One of these
little,
things is not like the other one.
your intermediate cartridges and your battle rifle cartridge. You know, what do you want? And my question to you, James, is, what do you mean? Do you have kids or something? Is that why you have to have your gun secured, or are you just
Can this
paranoid?
be my home
Well,
defense gun?
because I have friends and I get them over to my house and they get drunk, and I don't like my drunk idiot friends being able to get at my guns. That's pretty much it. Like, there are so many.
Fair enough. That's
Yeah.
entirely fair enough. That then turns
If
into
That's
any of my
responsible
friends are
gun
watching
ownership.
this, I don't think you're idiots when you're not drunk, but everyone's an idiot when they're drunk. So
That's just called responsible gun ownership, though.
yeah.
yeah.
Keeping people who have no business having access to them from gaining access to them is just responsible gun ownership. Whether it's your drunk friends or your kids or your senile old grandma or whoever.
So I'm sobering up.
I have a
Well,
bunch of tequila
we
in
need
my
to stop
fridge. I might start shooting it in a second to see if I can keep up with the gummy bear.
Here's the thing. I'm fat.
Yeah, I
you're
don't
gonna die.
This goes straight to my brain.
Okay, that makes sense. See, me, the wife and I live alone, and we don't have people over because neither of us like people. So I do keep, the 1911 and an AR, as my grandfather used to say, you talk like a Jew, because I move my hands as I talk. Anyways, so I keep an AR next to the bed along with a 1911, because one you can use while you're in bed, the other is much better for use when you're not in bed.
So do you lock those up when you're not home, or do you have any? Because like someone could break into your house and then you're out a couple of guns, right?
Now this is going to ruin a little bit of OPSEC. I believe in the whole thing of keeping your house secure. There's really, really, really not going to be the average crackhead that comes and breaks into my house. There's 3M on the windows. There's I've got pretty much bump-proof locks. I've got a secured garage door. There's really, I've done my due diligence of making sure that the house can't be broken into. If somebody wants to come into my house, they're going to come into my house because they're going to be cutting through a wall. They're going to be, and they're going to have time to get into my safe. So those two guns that are sitting out, meh.
So you've heard the term OPSEC, but you haven't heard the term defense in depth.
Yes, I have. But here's the thing: you're already going to be able to get to my safe. If they're getting in my house, they're probably already going to have the time to break into my safe. So those two guns really don't bug me. They're $3,000 worth of guns. It's not a huge thing.
Okay, I mean, as long as you've assessed the risks and you've either accepted them or mitigated them, then I can't really fault you. I just wanted to ask.
No,
I look at it this way: if somebody wants them bad enough, they're going to get them, no matter what they're in.
Exactly.
I know people around here that have had like big gun safes, like the big ones, and people broke into their house and took them out on a dolly.
If
Stole the whole fucking safe.
If people have the time, they're going to get your shit. And the best thing you can do is make sure that you have best practices of preventing your house from being breached. And honestly, the best thing is good locks. Go down to your gunsmith, get something like Medco locks or something like that.
That's not going to do shit.
No, Medco locks.
Medico locks are legit, dude.
Your door frame is a 2x4. I put a boot to it and it's blowing through. If you're going to talk that way, now we're talking security doors, steel frames. None of that shit's going to.
You don't have a reinforced frame that your door's in?
It's a 2x4. All it is reinforced is two 2x4s instead of one. No. No, that's not how door jams are made.
Yours, yes. Mine, no. It's what I'm talking about. It really.
My house is built in the 70s. I'm lucky I have electricity.
That's true.
My house was built in the early 30s. I probably, everything's made out of like real bricks and oak wood and everything.
It's honestly not that hard to reinforce your front door with the jams and such. You know, it's if you know how to hang drywall. It's what I used to do in high school for my summer job, was hanging drywall. So it's not a big thing to me. You know, you hang some drywall after you've reinforced the door jamb with some steel plating, and it's just enough to distribute the impact of a boot. You're not going to stop SWAT coming in because they're going to just explode your door. But having good solid locks and having a good solid door frame will do you really well as putting 3M on your windows. That shit's magical.
But, all that's great, but, like you said, somebody with time and knowledge and, 15 minutes in a Sawzall and they're through a wall. So these measures are going to stop the amateurs.
Yeah,
the professionals are just coming through a wall.
You give me a drill. You give me a drill with a hole saw, and your fucking doorknob's off in about 5 seconds.
But like, if you're talking about the professionals, I don't know about where y'all live, but I live pretty close to North Tulsa, which Rich knows what that means. The professionals are not hitting my house. Like, no.
That's exactly the point.
You have to analyze the threat sources and say, like, who is really breaking into my house? And that's something Ani makes a good point and says, well, a crackhead isn't going to do this. And for most of us do not have houses that are attractive to the Italian job crowd, where they're not going to find a secret passage under our house and use primer cord to drop our safe into an underground tunnel and whatever. It's just someone who wants stuff that they can fence for drugs.
The other thing to keep in mind, for those of you who might be listening and might be thinking about doing some of this stuff to your own house, in most jurisdictions, having these extra security measures on your house is a felony if you're using the house to commit a felony.
Correct.
Okay. So say for instance, you're a burgeoning Walter White, and you're cooking up some orange meth in your basement. Okay, so you put steel doors in, you put 3M film on your windows, you put security cameras outside. All that shit is gonna do when SWAT comes knocking, and they will, is add extra charges to your already very long list of felonies.
So you're going to be a felon when you're a felon.
Basically.
I don't think people like that care. But like Zaptel47 just put in the Q&A a link to a door reinforcement. That's fine, and that would work for a minute. You give me a sledgehammer, and that shit's coming right off.
That is a good point. That's where you come.
That seemed like a rough shot of.
Yeah, it's just so much fun watching you drink tequila, Omni.
Now my point is knowing your neighbors, being the people in your neighborhood. If you live close enough that you can see your neighbors, having them know well enough to see shit, report shit, not in the Big Brother way, but in the neighborhood watch way, or the neighborhood. My neighbor's going to come down with his shotgun and
just being a good fucking neighbor.
Exactly. That is also a very big thing. If you do end up, getting Italian jobbed, you may have your buddy that noticed, hey, why is that Mini Cooper under Omni's house? And he might call the cops, or in Washington State, it is completely legal to stop a felony that you see.
I think that's most states.
Yeah, probably. I'm assuming.
It's legal to stop it. Does that mean it's you can use lethal force to stop it, or you can?
I can make a citizen's arrest in Ohio if it's a felony.
Yeah, you can use force deemed necessary to stop a felony in Washington State.
I know I love Washington State for a reason. I should move there. I should live next door to you.
Well,
They got shitty guns. They got shitty gun laws.
Oh, they're getting better.
No, we have one shitty gun law that is coming up on the books. That's probably our only thing. The only big thing that we have here right now: no short barrel shotguns, no full aught. That's the only thing. We have a. See, I tend to like to lie about the gun laws here because I don't want Californians to move here. I'd rather them, go somewhere else. But we have this bad law that's being passed called 594 that basically will cause every gun sale has to go through an FFL, which is
which is fine for guys like, which I hate on principle that's bullshit. But for I own a gun store, that would be.
Oh, it would. No, here. Think about it though. I also work at a gun store. You think about the money because what do you charge? $40 for a transfer?
25.
We charge 40, mostly because it's a bitch to fucking having to log in a gun and then have to deal with the bullshit because I'd rather move my shit than you buying a fucking High Point from Cabela's and shipping it to my place and when I could have, have that fucking price. It has happened, so I might be a little bitter.
That's fine. My buddy lives in New Jersey. He said they charge $100.
Yeah, $40. Here's the thing, though. You have, in order to run a 4473, it has to be on your bound book, unless you're a pawn shop and you run a pre-pawn. But that's neither here nor there. So you have the 4473 that I log your gun in on my bound book. If your guy gets denied, I'm going to charge you $40 now because I've got to re-4473 it out to your ass. Even though it's your gun, I still have to because of the way that the state law is written, and plus because you didn't give it to me for gunsmithing, you gave it to me to sell. So now I'm going to charge you another $40, and if it gets denied to you, guess what? I'm keeping that gun because I can't transfer it out to your wife because I know that's a straw purchase and I have to go by what I know. So it's shitty. It's great in the idea, but it's pretty shitty in practice.
I'm actually waiting for that to happen at my store. I'm waiting to get a transfer in the mail and the guy that comes to get denied, and the guy who sent it doesn't want it back. Like, what do you do? What do you do at that point?
What I've done in the past is I said, call the sheriff. If the sheriff wants to transfer it out to himself, if the sheriff, bring the sheriff in, because people have threatened to call the cops on me, and I'm like, call the Fuhrer. I don't care.
So, while we have a lull in conversation, Zap posted something that was a really good point about how stuff like reinforced doors is supposed to stop opportunistic crime. Just like security in general, and in case you couldn't tell, I'm a computer security dork, but, I know IT people who have, fancy Cisco firewall shit on their home network. And you can play this game like, well, if you have reinforced doors, they could use a sledgehammer. If you have a machine gun, they'll bring a howitzer. Like, at some point, you have to honestly evaluate who's going to be breaking into your house, and honestly evaluate the probability of the attacks you're likely to face, and work against that, and not like some crazy movie plot threat. So yeah, he's absolutely right, and that's something that drives me again about internet gun conversations. Is people always love to play the what if game, and it's like, well, of course this shit could happen. Aliens could come from outer space and vaporize your house, but that's stupid. Yeah, I just really wanted to address that. This is basically just a laundry list of shit about Reddit that bugs me right now, and that's one of them.
So, Rich,
Yo.
you've been
I need
quiet.
more beer.
Yeah, but why don't you take over some conversation here, because I'm getting dry mouth.
I severely underestimated the amount of crosstalk there would be with 4 people on this show.
Really?
I severely underestimated. No, security is just common sense shit. You know, secure for where you live, not where you wished you lived. If you live in West Tulsa, you don't need a fucking panic room. You don't need, you need locks to keep the opportunistic tweakers out, and you need to close your windows. Maybe a house alarm. If you're Bill Gates or Steve Jobs or somebody there in the top 0.1%, maybe you need a little more. But at the same time, you probably don't, because people are just going to assume you have it anyway.
That's exactly the point. Is you have to set a limit of what you're securing against. My limit is stopping the tweakers. I'm not going to stop the professionals. So,
Real life is not a bad Jodie Foster movie,
or even a good Jodie Foster movie.
Well, there's that too.
That's not something that exists.
Don't hate. So, like, I found out I was invited. I found out after I was invited to this that the topic was AR-15s. Is there, like, so, like, bringing this all together, is there a threat that a pistol would not be able to handle that an AR would? Like, inside the house distances, what case is a pistol not good enough but an AR is?
It's not a matter of what's. Are you muted there, Jeremy?
Yeah, I muted myself. I said anybody wearing soft body armor.
Well, that is honestly, with the way that the world has been going, that is, something that might cross your mind.
I just feel the need to point out that possessing body armor while committing a felony is another felony as well.
They don't care.
Yeah, yes, but the police are immune from felonies. So, the point is with pistols that not that it can't do the job, is it doesn't do the job ideally. The idea is with your AR, that's going to be 1, 2, 3. It's light, it's accurate, it's fast, it's whereas your pistol is short and doesn't have nearly the same energy delivery.
It's a matter of temporary wound cavity and permanent wound cavity. A 9mm is going to hit your body with a foot-pound of something like 180 foot-pounds of energy. AR-15 with a 16-inch barrel and a 55 grain or 62 grain bullet is going to hit your body with about 450 foot-pounds of energy. Now, if you look at the temporary wound cavity that a 9mm is going to create versus what a 5.56 is going to create, the 9mm is going to create it's going to create a decent temporary wound cavity, but not much of a permanent wound cavity. A 5.56 is going to create a very big temporary wound cavity and an even better permanent wound cavity. You ever see Ballistics, Joe, when it goes in slow motion, it goes and it does all that shit? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
All right. When it's out like this and it's at its biggest from the bullet impact, that's the temporary wound cavity. When it's done and it stops moving, the hole that's left is the permanent wound cavity. So temporary wound cavity stops people. Permanent wound cavity kills people.
Something else that's worth mentioning is there's research out there that suggests that kinetic energy is a wounding factor, but only above a certain threshold level. So in handguns, you're looking at like a .44 Magnum where kinetic energy is something that you really consider, but in rifles it's just kind of a matter of course. Like all of the centerfire rifles that are commonly used, kinetic energy is, hydrostatic shock, blah 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 blah. That's actually a thing. So yeah, the physics change completely when you start talking about the terminal ballistics of rifle rounds.
And speed kills. Speed kills. And you got a 3,000 feet a second 223, and you got a 1,200 feet per second 9mm.
Oh, like way less than that for the I like heavy bullets in 9mm. So yeah, you're talking in 9mm. You're talking like 900-ish feet per second for a defense load, 147 grain.
Oh yeah, I'm not shooting anything that heavy. I'd rather have a fast light bullet because speed kills.
That's another one of those things you just got to go to the ballistics gel data.
Especially if it's in your home and you have people to protect, you aim center mass and you pull the trigger until they fall down.
Yeah.
I don't care how. I mean, I think the record is 32 impacts with a handgun, and the guy lived.
Yeah, I mean, remember, itty-bitty guns, itty-bitty bullets, and
yeah.
In the class, that's the justification for learning to shoot quickly and accurately, is because you're going to need 5 or 6 probably.
I mean, really, unless it's a brain, spine, or heart shot, chances are it's not going to get the job done with 1.
Puro just put in the Q&A app a dick butt ASCII art, but it's all AR-15.
And that didn't do that? It was Puro?
It was Puro.
That's really more of a Zap thing, I guess.
Zap went quiet. I believe we lost a couple of people. I don't know if it was.
No, we're sitting at 27 right now.
Zap went quiet? Zap went quiet? Zap stopped shit posting?
Are we going to change the name? Are we going to change the name of the show to the shit show?
Yeah, I believe it already is the Fatties on Air. Better than Fatties on Ice. Speaking of, anybody ever ice fish?
Yes. It sucks.
You are you drink.
It's too fucking cold.
Where the fuck are you from?
Ohio.
See, I born and raised in Minnesota, so it ain't fucking cold.
It's fucking cold.
Anyways, one of the hilarious
You know how
things...
cold it is? It's cold enough for the water to freeze. That means it's fucking cold.
You know what?
Science!
When your piss is freezing before it hits the ground, that's when you can call it cold.
Well, yeah. It's also cold when I walk outside and I can't be naked and comfortable. That's cold.
So I do like that you did say that you be comfortable, not other people being comfortable.
Well, I don't have 40 pounds of extra wrapping around me.
Oh, we're going to get into that.
No, fat jokes. Highbrow, classy.
For that.
How many shots is that?
A bunch.
Omni, are you going to need someone to, like, give you water?
Drive me home?
Oh, Zap says he's still here. He went to take a piss.
I'm drinking water, so I'm a smart drunk. I'm not a dumb drunk.
Every drunk thinks they're a smart drunk. That's what being a drunk is.
But I actually am I don't drink that often.
I'm a lovey drunk. I'll hug the shit out of you. I'm nicer when I'm drunk.
I get smarter as I get drunk. It's cool.
Rich, Casey just said she likes to talk about Costco when she's drunk.
Casey likes to talk about a lot of shit when she's drunk.
That was actually one of the conversations this week in IRC was over Costco and their business policies. If we want to bring up the Costco angle,
why not?
The $1.50. The reason that they do the $1.50 Polish and soda, the $1.50 Polish and soda, is because of they've always done it. It's just something that they've always done. It's essentially one of those things that they will always do and have always done because of the expectation of maintaining that thing.
What the fuck does that have to do with anything?
What the fuck does this have to do with anything ever?
Good point. Eddie Martinez wants to know if you're listening to Little John through your headset.
Grow up in Chicago or the Chicago area. Let me explain to you something about Polish sausages. Polish sausages are everything. They are everything at all times. I'm actually, because we're getting a Costco here in Tulsa, I'm glad that Omni told me that I can get a Costco or a Costco, a Polish and a soda for $1.50. I'm gonna be all over that shit. Trust me.
That's like half my pickup line there.
What, half your pickup line is Polishes are everything at all times?
I'll give you some Polish sausage.
Oh, positive. Okay, yeah, all right.
Hey, on the guys, here's actually a really good comment on the whole AR handgun thing. On the video on the stream right now, somebody commented it. Firearm Tutorials commented, an AR would be more efficient than a handgun, and so that's kind of the thing. It's not about what's good or what's bad. It's about what's more efficient.
Well, define efficiency, I guess. Like, you can throw around words like efficient, but it's.
Well, we've already circle jerked it enough tonight. The point is that an AR or any honestly intermediate caliber rifle, an SKS, an AK clone, whatever, is going to be more efficient at putting somebody down and keeping them down for the count than a handgun will be, because kinetic energy, because sheer amount of firepower, for a lot of reasons. So it's not about it's not about what's good or what's not good. They're both fine. However, a rifle is going to be more efficient than a handgun is. A 30 round magazine in an AR is going to serve me better than the 8 rounds in my 1911.
You know what?
The solution to that is to just not have a 1911. Like, get a pistol that was invented, after your grandpa was born. I guess.
Shut the fuck up and take some tequila shots. You know what? Tequila!
I mean, I got an XD45 up in my room, and that holds 13 plus 1.
Just FYI, my nightstand gun is a 1911. I was trying to troll Rich, but I apparently trolled Omni.
No, it's just that we keep going around in the same circles. I thought we had moved on from the subject, but it is more efficient in the fact more bullets, more faster.
So let's talk about Navy SEALs playing airsoft.
Wait, one thing. Not more bullets, more fast. More energy, more faster.
More energy, less projectile.
All right, circle jerk done. Let's talk about Navy SEALs playing airsoft and getting PTSD from it.
That wasn't a Navy SEAL. That was some.
I understand that, but just shut up and go with it.
Okay.
I'm trying to salvage this shit of a show.
Are you sure it wasn't an Air Force person?
No. Here's what I'll do.
Where's Browse? Because now if we're gonna start talking shit about Chair Force, where's Browse?
There's what we're talking about, Jeremy, in the chat box there.
What my favorite saying was that there's only 2 branches of the military: the Army and the Navy. The Air Force is a corporation, and the Marine Corps is a cult.
This has nothing to do with the military per se. Just look at the thread.
Fine.
It's some copy pasta.
It's fucking hilarious.
So while these guys are reading this, I'm going to address a comment on our video stream. Was Chris M writes, "LOL, Gummy Bear doesn't look like he could fight his way out of a paper bag, but comes off like some self-defense expert."
Where was this? I didn't see this.
He doesn't come off like a self-defense expert.
I'm going off as You know,
Is that
God made
an
man.
IRC?
No, I'm not sure. The wife sent it to me. God made men, Samuel L. Colt made them equal. I don't have to be in top physical condition to deliver rounds on target. So, here you go. Suck my dick.
And that's why guns became popular, because even the untrained peasants could fight the knights.
I just want to interject and say I'm seriously worried about your health, Omni. Like, do 2 more shots, you're probably good, but after that, you should probably cut yourself off.
I'm okay.
2 more, like right now.
Do it. Do it, man.
Wow.
I want to see him puke.
You won't see me puke. So while I'm pouring these shots, the number one time I puked while out drinking was on my 21st birthday. Now, I grew up in Wisconsin, Minnesota area. The thing is, Wisconsin, it is perfectly legal to be out drinking with your parents at any age. Because, as long as they're there to escort you. So I had been in the bars drinking since I was 17. Now, on my 21st birthday, I decided it would be a great idea to get into a bar pickled egg eating contest.
Oh, God.
Off the back of the bar against myself. I was at a dozen eggs.
And you're trying to get me to not make fat jokes.
The world record eaters are skinny as shit. So I seriously downed a dozen eggs at some point, and I remember the feeling of chewed egg salad basically coming out of my mouth.
Enough.
It was,
Enough.
Yeah, you can stop.
Seriously. Yeah. Enough.
Gold.
So
Yes, he does
one more thing. Somebody commented on the stream. Scott Hutchings says, if it is more efficient, why are a majority of crimes committed with handguns? Portability equals efficiency. Scott, I think you're confusing convenience with efficiency.
We're talking about
gets
home
back
defense,
to-
not self-defense. We're talking about in your house. You're going to have your AR. You're not going to, or you're going to have your AK. You're going to have your You're going to have your battle rifle. You're going to have your stuff. I'm assuming you're not going to the Chipotle with your SKS at low ready, waiting for urban gentlemen to have a conversation with you with their fists.
No, I mean, what he asked, the question.
No, he's
What?
confusing convenience with efficiency.
Yeah, I mean, they carry handguns because they're easier to hide.
Yes.
I tell people all the time when they come into my store, look, if you want a range gun, don't get a LC9. Don't get a Shield. Don't get a XDS. It's not a range gun. It's a carry gun. The only reason to ever have a small gun is to hide it. The smaller it is, the easier it is to hide. The shittier it will be ballistically.
The ideal gun for Zaptel carry is the Glock 26.
I
In the
disagree, but
You don't.
You said
Zaptel
Zapdos
it's an inside joke.
Actually, it's not really an inside joke. I've seen it used on ARFCOM, K. It's actually become a thing. As much as Zaptel is upset about that, it is a thing.
What? Seriously? It's a thing on ARVCOM?
Just Google Zaptel carry. in
No.
Googles. Yes.
I'm not doing that. I'm not falling for that again. It's goat seed.
I'm doing it right now. Hang on.
all right. If you guys disagree with me, go to lemonparty.org.
Yeah. No, the whole thing about efficiency was the semantic conversation that I was just trying to avoid having because it's been done to death. It's just like, figure out what your use case is and figure out the gun that's good for it. Like, efficiency means different things for different people, and that's...
Hold on. James, I got to interrupt you for a sec. The first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... The first 6 hits on Google are all Reddit links. I don't see ARFCOM on there anywhere.
You gotta get deeper. It's not that fucking common, dude. I was just
Are we doing Googleception here or something?
You know what? Shut up.
Sorry, dude. I don't see it.
Hey, we should talk. Monkey Masher is right. We should talk about old bolt gats.
Now, do we want to talk about rolling block bolt gats? Do we want to talk about Mauser action bolt gats? We want to
If
talk
we're going to
about...
talk about that stuff, we need HCE.
Rolling
Yes,
blocks. Rolling blocks really aren't bolt.
It was...
But if we're going to talk about rolling blocks and Mauser actions and stuff like that, we need HCE in here.
I love a good rolling block.
Now, the guy I'm talking about is a fucking bona fide expert in the shit. That's like all he does.
Was that what's he run? I think I know that.
If it's not a Sharps, he doesn't buy it.
Yeah, basically.
That's probably going to be one of my next purchases. This is my western section of my wall here. It's missing the coach gun. That's upstairs, but.
What's the dangly revolver there that's upside down?
This is a old Charter Arms 38 detective that I got from my great aunt. I got a 1956 Colt 38 special Colt police positive special in 38 special. That usually goes right here. It's right around here somewhere. Nope, right here.
I honestly, the only thing that I have right now that's not back home is a Mosin, as far as old bolt gats go. Everything's new-ish production, as in since the 70s.
No, this is this is my old Colt.
Police positive, nice. I recently picked up a Colt Trooper 3 for $200. I was very happy with that.
I hate you.
Everybody hates me. It's okay. I can't wait to see the stills from this week's episode. I don't know if you followed any of them. I gotta say, Chug Bleach came up with some serious. I couldn't stop laughing with the Buddha one.
The Buddha one was fucking brilliant, man, and that's some good fucking Photoshop there.
Oh, it was a quick and dirty one, but it was quality.
So back to ARs. Didn't you guys shoot 3-gun? I'm thinking of after I graduate. I'm thinking of starting to shoot 3-gun, and I want to do like a TAC Ops build or something. Oh, he's passed out. Poor guy.
What do you
talking about ARs again.
What do you want to do with it? I mean,
shoot 3-gun TAC Ops.
Okay.
Build a dizzy. Shut the fuck up.
A dizzy?
A dizzy.
What's a dizzy? Is that a dissipator?
Yes.
Is that a true dissipator, or is that?
No, a true dissipator is shit because.
That's why I was asking if it was a true one, because a true one.
No.
Okay.
No, it's a mock. There's your low-profile gas block. Run that. Keep it simple. Stupid. You don't need 8 fucking billion things hanging off your AR for 3-gun. I
mean, yeah, I don't know. I just thought maybe someone had some insight because, like, I have an AR, but it was a gift. I don't.
You could build something out that's honestly, I would build out something that's light, with a long sight radius. If you're not going to run optics on it, or if you're going to run optics on it.
Wait, hold on. Puro's saying I provided that O-Face OmniFox screenshot. Yeah. I never got to make the Batman. I never saw the O-Face OmniFox screenshot. Where is it?
That's what came from that. It was pretty much the source of 90% of the. You saw it. It was in the Washington Legalize It picture.
Oh, okay. I got you.
A number one people. I like you guys too.
What do they want to? What do they want to know about bolt guns? I mean, what are they?
They're just being fucking chodes.
Okay.
Well, actually, in IRC, it's turned into an Enfield circle jerk. So, who we need to get what's his name on here if we're going to go up circle jerk about Enfields.
Who?
Dude's his face.
Othias?
No, Othias is not the expert on. Let's see here. Somebody talk while I look this up, because I don't want to be the one keeping the awkward silences going.
Loud noises!
What all I know about Enfields is I owned one that I got during another Oklahoma fact. Any ammo shortage that hits you wherever you live that is not Oklahoma is 10 times worse here. And I got mine during I think Obama Rama 1, and 303 Brit was impossible to find for a long time. I loved that gun. It was beautifully put together. The sights were great. The trigger was great. The action was great. I ended up having to sell it before I even fired it once, and I still regret selling that. I wish I could have at least shot it. That's pretty much all I have to say about Enfields.
KDS Vow on Reddit.
I got like 20 boxes of 303 British sitting in my shop.
Well, send that to me 3 years ago, and I'll buy it from you.
Let me get on that time machine there, Orson Welles, and I'll get to it.
I've got an ammo can full of 303 with stripper clips.
Woo, strippers.
Yeah, but the stuff I got's Hornady Match.
No, this is like World War II vintage 303 with stripper clips. World War II vintage.
All I know about 303 Enfields is from the movie Breaker Morant. Like, that's all I got. You ever see that movie?
Yeah.
They execute all those motherfuckers, and he's like, we shot them under Rule 303. Yeah, it was awesome.
The person I was talking about was KDS Vow. He's one of probably the biggest Enfield collector on guns right now. Even Rusty will defer to KDS on questions that come up about Enfields, because he did just put up his post today on original Riot shotguns that are built out of Enfield actions, like the what was it, 1908 Mark I that they gave cops in India. That was chambered in 410 Kirky, which is basically a 303 cartridge with a bunch of shit rammed in it. So there are some really the history of the Enfield is awesome. I would say that it's much greater than like a Mosin. The Mosin hasn't really changed much, but the Enfield has been adapted and changed and evolved.
Oh, the history of the Enfield far outweighs or surpasses the history of the Mosin, or even arguably the history of the Mauser.
I mean, for me, the history of the Mauser never stopped. Like, how many deer rifles? How many commercial deer rifles now are basically just Mauser actions?
Ruger M77.
Anything bolt action from Ruger that isn't the new American line.
Right.
Yeah.
There's every Kimber is a Mauser action. Every are surgeons Mauser? I can't remember. I
don't remember. The 1903 Springfield was the best design we ever ripped off the Germans.
Of course.
That's
hell,
they
sued us and won.
But yeah, you've got the very long and rich history that we could do an entire show on just Enfields.
Mm-hmm.
But we probably won't.
I think we're getting too much. We're talking way too much about guns and shit.
Yeah.
What are we supposed to be talking about?
Browse apparently asked I'm assuming it's talking about the dog, whether or not, James, that's your girlfriend.
The dog is over here and my girlfriend's over here. They're off camera.
Oh,
Well, no, she was barely on camera there for a minute.
Girlfriend?
Yeah, girlfriend. Scare quotes.
And they say that I can't grow a beard.
Oh, I can't grow a beard.
Wow. Okay, that just totally went over your head, man, James.
No, I got it. I just
After you said, okay.
Yeah.
So,
Ami, since you don't want to talk about guns and shit, use nano. What the fuck, dude?
Hey.
No.
We have to cover topics that Beard can understand. Because I will just say, sometimes I just want to make. Jesus!
What the fuck?
You're not supposed to kick
Rape
the dog.
He's fine, but
sometimes I just want to make a fucking text document.
Okay.
So, Rich.
Yo.
What are we? Where are we at on our list of things for the show?
We blew through that with the any list we had began and ended with dust covers and forward assists.
Yeah.
I'll save the topic that I was going to go over for another show. Was about lasers and how tactical bullshit is.
We could talk about that for 2 hours, and yeah, it's getting to be we're pushing an hour and a half right now. So,
hey, Rich, how come you never answered my question about why you like dumb shit like full-length guide rods under 1911?
I just like them. You know, there's no empirical evidence that suggests that they're any better than the original Browning design, but to me, the gun runs better with a full length than without. But that's purely just my own opinion on the subject.
Correlation is not causation, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's absolutely no empirical evidence that suggests one is better than the other. It's just it's a preference. No, there isn't.
A non-full-length guide rod is much easier to rack with your pocket.
Okay, that's a fair point.
Practice one-handed if you want to be an operator. I haven't taken a shot in a while.
Let's see. Oh, Puro wants to know what I'm vaping. I'm vaping my Pravari, and I guess what are you using, James?
I don't know. So Rich is really into vaping. I'm not. I go to the e-cig store and I say, put the vapor in my face, and I don't really care how. Like I'm the vaping equivalent of someone who owns a Taurus. Like it doesn't. I use shit and it works most of the time.
I had a guy bringing a Taurus into my shop, and I had to beat the slide open with a brass hammer.
I've had to do that more than once.
That was a fun day.
Are you familiar with guns, as in Reddit?
Our guns? Like,
yeah. Do you post on there at all?
I try not to.
Oh, well. One of my top posts was about me finally getting fed up with sending back the 6th fucking Taurus for the week. Is 6 broken Tauruses in a week is pretty much their standard operationals.
At least they have good customer service that I found.
You only hear people say that about guns that break all the time. Like, oh yeah, my high point, it broke and then I sent it back to the factory and they turned it right around.
Fuck your high point, but you know what? I've had guns break, and as I don't mind if it's like all the time, that's a pain in the ass. But if a gun fucks up and you send it back and they dick you around for months, or it's bullshit or blah 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 blah, That's more of a pain in the ass to me than if your gun fucks up and you just call them and go, hey, my gun fucked up, and you send it back, and they send it back to you a couple weeks later, and boom, the problem's fucking fixed. I'd rather have that than to deal with shitty customer service.
And buy a high point.
No. I won't even sell the motherfuckers.
See, I won't sell a Taurus, but we'll sell high points because you know what? As shitty as they are, they generally go back. Okay, there's the caveat of the only way to properly unload a high point is to blat, because of I'm not a fan of the ejector being the firing pin. Just generally,
yeah,
something that I don't like.
When I found out about that design decision, I was, why? Why would you do that? I guess the answer is high point.
It's simple. It's not high points. It started back in the Bryco Jennings. It's stupid, simple, easy, semi-auto, direct blowback gun. It exists. It works. That's why they do it. We had one person come back to ask, should I use my full-size AK-74 or PAP with arm brace for a bedside gun? Short SBRs and pistol-like rifles, we're going to get into this now, is if you like your hearing, you're not, if you don't have that canned, you're not going to want to use that in your house because you're not burning any of the junk.
Who's ever shot a gun inside of a building? It's fucking loud as dicks anyway. It doesn't matter what it is.
What?
They said it's loud as dicks anyways. It doesn't matter what it is.
Jeremy, how loud are dicks?
They're very loud.
That's a good segue into the other question of how many cocks can be fit into mouths from Zaptel.
Didn't somebody ask you that question last week too?
I believe.
If it's Zaptel's cock, probably like 400 because it's very tiny.
And you know this how?
He has a micro penis. He posts in Reddit.
So we got, people bringing up Ruger's excellent customer service. That is a good point in the fact that Ruger, in its umpteen million years of operation, has never, ever had a warranty. They do not have a warranty. Nothing is warranted from Ruger. However, they will always make it right, which is one of the things that I will forever love Ruger for. Is, as you know, some people hate their revolvers, think they're shitty. The fact that they stand behind their product and they will pull a product and recall it before it becomes a problem is a huge plus to me. So is tequila.
Oh, wait. Omni, you're over your limit of shots. I told you, like, 2 more. And then I was
You're not my real dad.
No, but, fuck, what was I going to say? Damn, dude, you have like 8 shots and you can maintain a coherent line of thought. But that's a good point. Like a lot of other manufacturers, they'll notice errors in their design. Notably, when the M&Ps, the M&P 9s used to have extraction issues with some ammo because I think they used 40 extractors on the 9mm guns. There was never a recall. They just kind of quietly fixed it and phased the fix into their production line. And, you know, I respect...
And if you have a problem and you send it back, then they'll update your gun.
Update it or, what. And you know, you have to... I respect a company who has the courage to just do a recall and fix it for everybody and let everyone know that they have a problem rather than, rather than just trying to pussyfoot around it, as is industry practice. Oh, Jeremy dropped the mic, took his headphones off. He's done.
He's out. How am I not the first one on the floor?
You're a tank, man. Like the gummy bear, you know, has a reservoir. That's impressive.
It's
Okay. I think we should start winding it down now.
oh, we got a half hour.
Well, nobody says the show has to be 2 hours.
That's true. We can wind down if we have nothing to cover. I would like to wait till Jeremy gets back before we close out the show, though, because it would be kind of,
Obviously.
I don't know, a little rude. But since when do we stand on formality here?
We're our guns mods. We're Hitler. Just
We're not going to start making a habit of it now.
Wait. Apparently there was a thread on Firearms today about using 22 for home defense. We're not even going to touch that.
That's it. Okay. Like I'm just
no,
people who advocate 22 for defense on purpose. That's it.
Yeah, no, just, yeah.
Zap brings up a very good point with we're talking when we were giving conversation to recalls and such by different companies. See Springfield and their recall of the XDS. We're going to recall it, but we have no fucking idea how to fix it, but we're going to just sit on it for a bit.
Well, why
get
should
back
they
to you.
know how to fix it? It's not their design.
Okay. They leased the XD is croat shit. The XDM was Springfield tinkered with it, said this is what we can do, this is how we can market it and how we can sell it for the same gun for $100 markup. And then the XDS was mostly a Springfield design. However, it's still croat shit.
Oh, so Jeremy's back. Welcome back, Jeremy.
I had to pee. Are you ripping on the Croats?
Omni was. I just said Springfield is not their design.
No, the sub two or what is it? The HS 2000.
Yeah.
Yeah, the HS 2. Yeah, it's still made in Croatia too. Are you ripping on Croatians there, Gummy Bear?
A little bit. I honestly, there's very, very little that Springfield these days makes that I care for.
I have an XD9, I have an XD45, I have two Springfield 1911s, and I have a M1A.
Would you
and I'm Croatian.
Okay.
What does this have to do with the fact that the XD is a shitty copy of a shitty Croat gun, though?
It's not. I don't think it's a shitty gun, though. I would beg to differ. I would argue with that point with you.
But there's no point in arguing. Yeah, there's no point in arguing because
then again,
I'm not going to change your mind, and you're not going to change my mind.
That's true.
My only legitimate bitch about the XD is the marketing. Like Springfield really love to trade on their ripoff of the name or of Springfield Arsenal, and they really love to be all America, buy a gun that's made in America, but it's a Croatian design. And
it's made in Croatia.
Right, and I think, they're not bad guns. A friend of mine has one, and I think that's one of the nicer striker-fired triggers out of the box I've ever felt. I think maybe the new M&P trigger might get there, kind of, and the FNS trigger, too. But, like, I don't like how they're disingenuous with marketing. That's my biggest gripe.
Marketing in and of itself is disingenuous, though.
I've never seen Springfield marketing where it's like American guns by America. I've never seen that.
You really haven't?
No.
Look at Springfield's logo.
Well, I mean, I know about the name of the old Federal Arsenal, but
this is my major gripe with Springfield, especially like the M1A. I hate the fact that it's become like the fucking Band-Aid or Kleenex of M14s, civilian M14s. My other thing is that it's really not a $1,400 gun, not with a Brazilian cast receiver. It's on the same level as Norinco. It's the same shit. there's such a markup on some of their stuff that's so cheaply cast in Brazil. It might be assembled in the U.S., but it sure as hell not. The metallurgy isn't from the U.S.
No, not by a long shot.
Depends on the model, but yeah.
You know, you pay for the national match. The national matches are arguably a decent gun, but for the price, you may as well pay for a low-end Fulton.
I have an operator TRP. That thing's badass.
Well, the TRP is not a bad. I don't think it's a bad gun at all. It's not my ideal in 1911, just because.
I also have a GI spec, and right on it says Imbel made in Brazil on the frame. So I know for a fact that this frame is the one that's done in Brazil.
Well, that one's fit and finished in Brazil. All Springfield frames, including the TRP, are rough forged in Brazil.
And I'm okay with that, because you can even take if you get a STI, it's a Filipino made. It's a Rock Island Armory frame.
Some of the lower end STIs are, yeah.
The number one producer for 1911s is America. You get some fucking great 1911s from custom shops. The number two country that produces 1911s, the fucking Filipinos. They've had the equipment. They've ran the equipment since World War II. Even World War I, they were designing and building 1911s. They know their shit. I love Rock Island. They have a great forge for the cost. See, that's the big thing, is that they keep their cost realistic for their product. Now, Rich will hate them, and any other 1911 gunsmith will hate them in the fact that they will burn up your files when you're trying to work on something on them, because
it's not just that.
There's nothing.
That's certainly part of it. That's certainly part of it, but it's not just that. The other part is that, well, okay, we're going to go there. Rock Island, let's see. They're very rarely are the slides ever plumb. The dovetails are cut to some weird Rock Island spec.
They just kind of ran over.
Huh?
They just kind of ran over the machine. I don't think that there's any real spec to. No,
and the dovetails, not only are they not the right size for fucking anything, try and get sights from Dawson Precision for a Rock Island. Okay, they don't exist. You have to get the next closest one, and then hope to God your files last long enough to make the dovetail work. The consistency is the big thing. It's not that they're necessarily bad. It's an issue for me. It's the biggest thing is an issue of consistency. You can have sequentially serial numbered guns that were ostensibly worked on by the same little Filipino man with his little Filipino hands. One will be rock out with your cock out awesome. The one right behind it will be an unmitigated piece of dog shit. Consistency is a really big issue with them.
But they do.
So it's like a Mosin Nagant.
Close, yeah. That's a pretty appropriate thing. And by the way, Dawson's Precision has had RIA cut sights for probably the past 5 years. Just saying.
No.
Yeah.
The ones that they think are for RIAs aren't actually for RIAs. They don't fit in RIA because RIA dovetails are fucking weird.
They are weird. I guess I've just lucked out in the ones that I've put in.
Maybe you have, but the last 4 or 5 sets of sights I've done on Rock Islands with sights from Dawson Precision, and Dawson Precision is awesome. Dave Dawson's a great guy. They make excellent stuff, but the fact of the matter is, and it's not the sight's fault, it's the fucking gun.
Oh yeah, I mean, my buddy's got a Rock Island Armory officer's model, 3.5 inch, and if you look at the on a 1911, just the here, this little cutout here of style on either side, the difference in the two sides is off by like a half an inch.
Oh yeah. Like I said, it's not that necessarily bad. It's one, the steel they use is just some really fucking just nasty steel. But the big thing is consistency. There's no real consistency coming out of the Philippines, and that's why you'll get one Rock Island that's awesome, and the one right behind it with that's one number higher than it is just a problematic piece of shit. It's consistency, and the consistency just it sucks. And I'm all about consistency. So
I'll tell you this much though, I'll take a Rock Island Armory over a Metro Arms American Classic, and that's another Filipino gun. Any day of the fucking week, I will take a Rock Island over a fucking Metro Arms.
James texted me, said, got bored, didn't want to interrupt RA chat, so went and hero. Fuck you, James, you rude son of a bitch.
The thing with that I like with Rock Island though is that they price appropriately for the gun that you get.
They're not priced appropriately for the gun you get. If you happen to get a good one, it's priced appropriately. If you get a dog shit one, it's way overpriced. That's a hell of a gamble. You get better odds at a fucking craps table.
I guess I have not ran against that bad of a Rock Island. But then
all I'm saying is you get better odds at a craps table.
I usually get. We usually order in the tactiles. We don't order in the GIs. I think there is a level of difference between the two.
Oh, yeah.
We did get a couple kind of silly questions like AR-15 versus M4 carbine on durability. Shut the fuck up.
Well, the kid doesn't know. I thought it was an honest question. I didn't answer it, but I thought it was an honest question.
Yeah, it is. I guess if I'm not going to be rude about it, they're about there's no real difference there, bud.
There's no real difference anymore.
Yeah.
Most AR-15s manufactured anymore have M4 feed ramps, and use so there's no real difference, except for the fire control group.
Of course. Let's see here. Did we get anything on Twitter?
No, actually nothing on Twitter tonight.
So
I've been refreshing that page, but nope, nothing on Twitter. I think we're gonna call it actually, unless anybody has anything else they want to talk about.
I don't see anything else popping up in IRC.
I mean, I got lots of things I'd like to talk about, but show can only be so long.
Yeah. Plus, I want to go eat ice cream.
I gotta go drink more beer.
Well, I'm gonna do that too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guys, thank you for sitting through an hour and 45 minutes of the shit show that is GTT Live Episode 2. I clearly did not think this through tonight, and hopefully you guys will come back and give us another chance next week. The stream will be available immediately after I end it in the playlist marked GTT Live on my YouTube channel. Or if you want to wait for YouTube to render it and do their copyright protection bullshit, it'll take anywhere between 30 minutes and 12 hours for YouTube to do their shit and for it to just show up in the regular list of videos. Jeremy, you want to plug We Like Shooting while you're here?
Yeah, if you guys...
I don't care.
WeLikeShooting.com, WeLikeShootingPodcast.com. We do guns, gear, gadgets. Our show's a little bit more uniform than this.
Fuck you!
Segmented. We've had more practice. In all honesty, look at the first 3 episodes of the We Like Shooting show, and it was a shit show. It really was.
Last week actually went a lot better than this week, I think.
Yeah, trust me, you guys, it gets better over time once you get like a certain pattern down. And we have Sean to thank a lot for that, because if it was me, it'd be like, fuck it.
We do have very important questions coming in prior to cutting out of what kind of ice cream are you going to get?
Whatever's in my freezer that isn't freezer burned.
So you don't clean out your freezer often, I take it, and just stack more shit on top of the existing stuff?
Yeah. I'm a single guy, man. I don't have a wife to do that shit for me.
I did. IRC did blow up with. We still liked it. Better than WLS.
I knew that was going to happen at some point tonight.
More like we like dicks.com. No offense to you guys. It's just some people have a different set of tastes.
Yeah, some people don't have. We don't account for class here.
No. There is no class.
Whoever wrote that, go fuck yourself. And yeah,
that's funny. Sean said the same thing last week.
I believe that was the exact response.
Yeah.
I listened to the show that I wasn't on, and they were ripping on me pretty hard. I told Sean, I'm like, I don't know whether to congratulate you guys on the burn when I couldn't defend myself, or to kick all of your asses.
Okay, well, at that point, or Omni, anything else you want to say? Do you want to tell people your social media? Do you want them to follow you? No, yes, no.
You can follow me on Twitter at the OmniFox, at the OmniFox, whatever in the Twitter. You can harass me on IRC on FNet. FNet is bestnet. And my only other thing is feedback. If uptight me is better than loose and drunk me. I'm looking for not positive, but active feedback. That's fine. But if you say I'm fat, really, it's not like I didn't know that.
Okay, on that note, we'll see you guys next week. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm sure it'll be interesting.
Sure.
Thanks for watching. Omni, what's the deal with the iTunes uploads? What's going on with that?
Yes, I will get to that this week, definitely, before the end of the week.
So you're going to upload both episodes this week?
Correct.
Okay.
Both episodes will be up. I didn't have a chance to sit down and do the editing.
Do we have
awkward pauses?
Right. Have you figured out a schedule as to, we live stream on Tuesday and it goes on iTunes on Thursday? Have you figured that out yet?
The goal will be Tuesday, Thursdays.
And what can people look for on iTunes to download the podcast?
It will be GTT, and you sent me the fancy new logo. We probably should have used that somewhere.
We probably should have used that, but I've had so much other shit going on this week that I haven't really had time to even mess with this.
Okay.
I'm not using the draw app. It's not going to happen. I'm not falling for that. All right, guys. See you next week. Thanks for watching.